Rated M for mature.
Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of To Industry. Again, I'm Mike Games, Hill, Andrick.
Thank God we no longer have to deal with the ice bucket challenge.
Oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
That
Now
should go
somebody's
down for 2014.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But give money to the cause, definitely, but fuck the ice bucket.
What's the
challenge.
cause again?
ALS.
There it is.
Yes.
So yeah, in this segment, we're going to actually talk about the pretty much some big events that happened this month.
Right.
There was the Video Game Awards and also the PlayStation Experience.
Right.
Which, with the PlayStation Experience, like you said earlier, you think it kind of helped Sony out quite a bit. It kind of put them back in the lead.
Yeah, it solidified where they wanted to go. I think, and I hope it's a trend. I hope Microsoft will get on board as well, and so will Nintendo. Just it's nice to, if you have something every 6 months, you have E3, and then you have something at the end of the year.
Right.
It just reminds you of why you love games.
Right.
And what is coming up,
Right. And I think you said it earlier, or maybe it was Hill. No, I think it was you. You said that it was kind of like a mini E3 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, whether it was the Game Awards show or PlayStation Experience, it just it got you, a lot of indie games that maybe you get more, in-depth look at, and it just got me excited overall. It just really, really excited me about what's to come.
Which I know the other day you talked about it. You said it actually got you excited for this one game in particular. You said they had your money either way, but this kind of was like, shut up and take my money now. Right. Was the Order 1886. They showed a little bit more gameplay for it.
Yeah, they showed more wolves. No, no, they actually showed some fighting, some gameplay, like you said, and it was just I was like, you know what, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, it has potential to me. Because you remember, I at the very beginning, I was like, I know this thing is going to be like wolves. They're going to replace vampires with wolves, have the same environment. But now, it looks pretty impressive.
Yeah, Hill called it from like way back when he's like, oh, that's wolves. You see fog? That's wolves.
He did. And I mean, they showed a lot of really great gameplay. Of course, I think everybody left with a chubby was whenever they showed Uncharted 4, the gameplay. I mean, that looks amazing.
Yeah, I was whacking onto it the whole time.
I thought so.
I was like, there's not enough lotion in the store.
It's like, fuck Lara Croft. It's all about a male Tomb Raider.
That
Tomb Raider done right.
Oh, snap.
But yeah, I mean, the Uncharted 4 looks really amazing. I can't wait for that to come out. I mean, they showed a lot of really great games. I know the one you were probably excited about most was Street Fighter V.
Yeah, I was really excited about it, and then Andrick shat all over it. And he was right to shit over. He basically brought me back to reality.
Chocolate rain.
Yeah, right, exactly. It was chocolate rain all over Street Fighter V, and it was and what essentially it looks like Street Fighter 4. Okay, all you fighting game fanatics, please don't start throwing things at your computer. I know I just said that because they're blowing it out of proportion. They're like, oh my god, this is going to be the greatest one ever. Yeah, I do notice a lot of the details and the changes in it, and especially the environments. They do look way more organic and in depth. But you have to understand my skepticism because we've had so many remastered and rushed products in the last year. And I know it's still a Capcom game at the end of the day. But I hope that Street Fighter V really breaks them out and changes things up a little bit more.
And I'm sure they will. I mean, they always add little differences.
Yeah, and it's a specific developer. Only everybody's yelling his name at the television now. Or whatever.
Our one person.
Yeah, no, it's him. It's really him. He really is. He really does have a vision that a lot of developers don't
and
really
he
have.
came out in PlayStation Experience. I think he came out.
Right.
He talked to everybody what he was excited.
In English.
In English.
Hey, that's
big
brave to me.
No, it's awesome. I love them doing it, but at the same time, it's obviously they feel uncomfortable. You can tell.
Yeah, but that's brave.
It is brave. I couldn't do it. I can go to Japan. I'd
Yeah,
be like,
and
I'm
speaking
speaking in Texan right here, and I can have translator, y'all.
I need 2 translators, please. Thank you. And yeah, and I think Street Fighter Five is really going to be. It is that time to
Yeah.
have a newer one, but to have five, to be the fifth Street Fighter, there's a lot that has to go into it. Because that's a big number.
And one of you said that you thought it was also Sony. Like, you know what? Fuck you, Killer
Killer
Instinct.
Yeah, that was Andrew.
With Microsoft. We're gonna give you Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, and it's exclusive, which that we thought those days were over. You know, for Capcom to say, "Hey, we're going to be exclusive to PlayStation," says a lot of things. It says, first of all, we see PlayStation as winning, okay, and second, we're going to go back to the days where we were exclusive with PlayStation before, and we're going to make that happen again.
Yeah.
Well, I personally think it was a lot of behind the things. I have no basis on this.
Yeah,
But
obviously,
my
there's a
deal-
lot that went behind it.
My deal is that I think they wanted to do a 5, but they probably just like, well, we could probably get one of these companies to put up some money for our development. And then we'll just give them exclusive. And then Microsoft was like, no, and PlayStation was like, we'll do it,
Yeah, we'll do it.
hands
We have no
down.
problem
Like
doing
you don't
it.
even have to.
Like you give us like there's a gigantic fighting game community that runs an entire fucking competition behind a Street Fighter, and
Right,
you
you
want to make a sequel to it? Hell yeah, we're gonna put money into that
Yeah,
shit.
you got Japanese companies that pretty much know each other, and
Yeah.
Oh my
you know,
God,
like one thing
they just
that,
walk next door, like
Yeah, pretty much. Like, hey, you know, Nintendo did
Cowboys
the same
for
thing with
sugar.
Bayonetta, right? They wanted Bayonetta 2, but the developer didn't have enough money, so Nintendo came in and said, like, just make it
just make it
exclusive.
exclusive, right?
And so Nintendo kind of started that, and it seems like other people are jumping on that bandwagon. So,
Microsoft is over there like, we got Madden.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah, we got Madden. We can do Madden, right? We
Um,
can make that exclusive. Hey, if you want to fucking crush
Well,
EA
it seems like they came out with their exclusive. They were just like, oh, okay, well,
with Killer Instinct, yeah.
you know, no, not just that, but recently they're going to publish Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That came out as well. So
Right.
it seems like after they showed the Uncharted, Microsoft came out. It was like, oh, we're going to publish Tomb Raider as
yeah.
an answer to that, you know. So
Yeah, good luck with
And-
that, Tomb Raider.
I think one of the biggest things from the PlayStation experience that was kind of it had a lot of really mixed reviews. Some people were really excited. Some people were like, "Oh, really? Fuck you! Just getting more money." Was whenever they announced Final Fantasy VII, because it's the same exact game. They didn't do any tweaks, nothing. It's
Wait,
just
wait,
so it's the
wait,
PC,
wait,
it's the
wait.
PC port.
Wait,
Yeah,
here's
I
the thing: is like people have been asking for Final Fantasy VII,
but remastered, I think,
yeah, remastered for decades.
and it's not remastered.
Well,
No, it's the PC port. So that PC port was remastered. Like, well, I mean, it was better graphics and.
A little bit better, but I mean, it's just another way for them to get more money. I
But
think.
people that love Final Fantasy VII are going to buy it. It's just that simple. They know they're going to make this amount of money by releasing it on PlayStation 4.
So I think that's why it got a lot of controversy. You
I don't know.
know,
I think they teased it as though it was going to be an HD, and I think when they just came out and said it was a PC port,
they need to
people were just like,
redo it. They need to redo it
They should.
do.
in
It's
like all updated generation graphics and everything.
yeah, I
With
agree.
an updated score and all that stuff.
well, it's and I agree with that, but their position is that we move forward, we don't go back, and I think they should, and I think all the fans boy want them to, and they just won't.
We move forward. Let's not go back, but let's release a game that.
It's very similar to like what is remastered, right? Yeah.
Well, they're not going to redo the whole engine. That's what I'm saying. They have other stories to tell, and I think that's what they're trying to do. Find the next Final Fantasy VII that's not Final Fantasy VII,
Well, look,
which
okay.
they should. I'm agreeing with you guys. I think they should.
That was one of your predictions, actually, in the beginning of the year.
I'm always going to predict
Final
that
Fantasy
one, and not Last of Us, the one with the bird and the kid.
Last Guardian.
Yes,
Mm.
I'm always going to be like, I want that game too.
Yeah. The thing with Last Guardian is I feel like I think they have a lot of internal problems with that game because like like with Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, they actually had a lot of momentum and those games came out fantastically. With Last Guardian, it just seems like there's so many internal problems, and when you have internal problems like that, it usually shows up in the video game product,
Yeah.
and I'm less excited.
Well, the creator left and came back, and then I don't even know where he's at now. So
He
I don't
doesn't
know
know
if
where
he's,
he
I
is.
don't know if he's working.
And,
on it or
and
not.
that's the biggest thing is like if the creator of this kind of series just leaves and I don't feel comfortable about it anymore.
Yeah.
I still will play it. Here's my money.
Another thing was that I think I kind of got excited for was Bloodborne, because they kind of just gave us a little teaser during E3, and then this time they gave us some gameplay. Now it actually got me kind of excited. I was like, oh wow, that looks really cool. Um, was there something that stuck out to you?
Well,
Andric doesn't give a shit.
see, Bloodborne and like, what's it called? The other one?
Order
Order?
1886.
No. I can't think of Dark Souls and
Dark
stuff like
Souls,
that.
okay.
So it's very similar. That you die a lot.
I like how that's how you pull them in together.
Well, yeah, because it's almost the same creator, isn't it? The same company that created Dark Souls.
I don't know.
I believe it is, and it's one of those games where when you die a lot, I have to be in the right mood for those type of games.
Okay, you're right. It was directed by the same.
Yeah, so it's just one of those. I know it's similar to Dark Souls where you're going to die a lot, different environment, obviously, and probably a lot faster paced. And I just don't want to. I don't want to. I'm not in the mood right now to deal with that type of game.
That's what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? Like I play games on the hardest difficulty and I always look for that challenge because I'm masochistic or something. I don't know. But it's like
Thanks, Obama.
thanks to Obama's America. The thing is like I like those challenges. You know, when you have to play all these games that are so into taking you on the story and kind of being a vehicle to take you through the game rather than actually having you play it, Call of Duty. You kind of want to have a game that actually pushes back, and kind of challenges you to push forward and actually play the game. And that's how you really feel like you're playing this game. Like with Dark Souls, you really have to think. You have to kind of worry about certain things. You have to prepare well ahead of time, and that's what creates a game.
Right.
Right.
Where all these other ones kind of put you on the rail and are like, all right, go here, fight these enemies, go here, fight these enemies. And I'm glad this is a different a refresh of what's going on, and that's why Dark Souls was so popular.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, they also.
I agree.
You're like, sure, I should still should know that.
No, I agree. I totally agree with every word.
I mean, they showed quite a few games and more gameplay of other games. I mean, there's quite a few to mention. I mean, I guess was there something that stuck out to you before we continue?
I like how they have like the best remastered like category.
Oh, you're talking about the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well.
That's bad. We have to have the best remastered award. Isn't like what does that mean?
So
It's Kingdom Hearts.
so yeah, the Video Game Awards. That's a great segue. This year it was a lot cooler. I mean,
He did. Jeff Keighley did a lot for this year. I could tell that guy cares. I could tell he was tired hosting. Like you get to see it in his face. Like his mind was at 1,000 places trying
because
to.
it was his own money.
Because it was his own money, and kudos to that guy, man. I really appreciate what he did, and he got away from the whole Spike TV aspect of it.
Yes.
Where it was just such a douchebag show.
Yes.
But every time I wanted to watch it. This is the time of game show I wanted. I wanted
Right.
to embrace the industry instead of making fun of it. And it seems like last year, I forgot his host.
Joel McHale.
Joe McHale just like he shat all over everybody.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care. And I was like, dude, you ruined that show.
Yeah.
And it almost wasn't going to happen this year unless Jeff Keighley put up the money.
And then and that's the thing is like because the gamers are this big punchline joke, with people that don't understand. And if you start inviting those, and that's what the Game Awards always try to do. They try to invite all these people who act like they're gamers or on the outside of the scope of gamers and bring them in, and it fucking ruins the environment.
It does.
And I'm glad that someone, unfortunately, he did have to put up his own money to be able to run the shit.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that can encourage other people to say, hey, if you do this from a gamer's standpoint, it can actually run well and promote a lot of games and developers.
And I think it did really well. I think I can't remember what the number was. It was like over 2 million people that
Right.
actually watched it. I mean, it seemed like it was a huge success, but it's also because it was done right. I mean, they had,
Right.
I mean, there were some missteps. There were.
yeah,
But it was way better than anything we've gotten in the past.
right.
And it seems like it's on the right track. And even the entertainment they had, like the music, was fit in with game music. It wasn't just a band that has nothing to do with music up there.
I mean, they
I mean,
did have
nothing
a
to do with,
band.
the games.
Yeah, they did have a band that had nothing to do with games, which was Imagine Dragons. But
But
they,
they played.
yeah, they played little Zelda
They
medley,
played
which was really
Zelda. They
cool.
had the guy up there playing Zelda. They even talked about their affinity for Zelda and how much they liked it.
Right, and
Uh,
so it was really cool because it was actually really gamer centric, and I mean, it was really focused. The heart was in the right place
Yeah,
in this
And it
one.
really should be like a celebration of gamers. How these reviews are, and yeah. so,
No,
so
I think they did a lot of things right, and the nice thing about it wasn't just PlayStation, because PlayStation did. It was at the same place. It was in Vegas, and but they did have Nintendo there, and they did throw a little shout out to Xbox, but it was mainly Nintendo, and it seemed PlayStation at the Game Awards, and Reggie was there, and they gave some exclusives, especially with the independent games. And Nintendo won some awards, and yeah. Overall, it just felt in the right direction.
And it seemed like they had a lot of big shout outs to Nintendo. I mean, I think in the very beginning they had that one guy playing the what was it, the piano, I think it was, and he was playing like the Super Mario Brothers theme, and then they showed in the background, the old school Super Mario's playing. So
Right.
yeah,
thought it
because
was really cool.
it's supposed to be kind of a celebration of all of just gaming history and everything about it.
Right, and yeah, Reggie did really cool. And then at the end, like you said, they were showing a few exclusives. What was it that they showed at the end?
They showed Zelda. Spoiler. They showed Zelda gameplay.
Right.
And then they also mentioned that before Zelda comes out, Star Fox is going to come out.
Yeah,
They didn't
so-
show any gameplay for that, but it's still cool to know that because Zelda's supposed to come out next year, that Star Fox is the next push we'll probably see from Nintendo.
Yeah,
which
heavy
is like-
hitter, Star Fox and Zelda.
which is great. I mean, they're doing all the right things.
Yeah.
They're teasing a game that's going to come out before a game that we want, and you got another game. At least this is why I have a Wii U.
Right. Yeah, so it was really big for Nintendo, and I mean, like we were talking about earlier, they won a few awards. They won, what was it? The best fighting game, which
Smash
was
Brothers.
Super Smash Brothers. They won best racing game, Mario Kart 8. Can't remember if they won something else. I know those were the big
I
two.
know
Well, Bayonetta, yeah.
Oh yeah, Bayonetta was nominated
announced,
Right.
nominated.
for best game of the year. It didn't win. It was Dragon Age Inquisition. But I mean, it's pretty huge for Nintendo. I
That's
mean, they
really big for
yeah.
for them to be nominated for Bayonetta 2 to be nominated says a lot that that looks great on Nintendo. Like they're really having a turning point.
Exactly. I mean, for everybody that shat on Nintendo saying, "Oh, console sucks," I was
okay,
mad because they didn't have any games.
Yeah, no, I think
But
Mike's
again, it takes 2 years, right? It took 2 years.
BS, because like Mike was right in what he said was like, they didn't have any games because Nintendo's taking their freaking time.
Well, it's
Nobody
I
wanted to
think
get behind them.
I think it was this. I think they expected third-party developers to get behind them.
Right.
And when they said no, they were just like, "Shit, our own developing games aren't coming out for a while. We were expecting these third-party developers to get us through. Now we're fucked."
Yeah,
And so-
well, I mean, here's the thing: is like this kind of happened to them before many times, like GameCube, Wii, even 64. Because the only thing that really carried the 64 was Rare was around, and Rare's not there anymore, popping out all these fucking games.
Ocarina of
Nintendo.
Time.
Well, I mean, yeah, they did Zelda up front, they did Mario up front. That was a different way how they handle things.
Right.
You don't have like a third party like Rare who does Banjo Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, all these games to be.
Did they do Killer Instinct too?
And they did Killer Instinct at that time too. So they had all these games for 64 to kind of prop them up while Nintendo was figuring out what the fuck they wanted to do at that time.
Right.
And they didn't have that for Nintendo Wii, and it kind of faltered after everybody kind of went through the novelty aspect of it. GameCube still was like third place the entire time, and they had to float on their own games. And this time they really bet heavily that these third party developers would figure it out. And
Well, it was because of the Wii, right? Because for third party developers,
you felt like they had a sour taste in their mouth.
they were just like, we are making all this money off the Wii, the regular Wii. That why wouldn't we stay with the Wii U, which is like an iteration of that? Kids are going to want it, and then when they just said no, we're going to go with Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, right. Because they were like, well, because at the end of the day, they're business, right?
Right.
And they were like, the money's not there.
Right.
Okay, even EA came out and was like, hey, the fucking money is not there. But they publicly did it like the douchebags that they are, which is bad. But
Well, I think Ubisoft treated them the worst. Just simply because they were just like, no, now they're starting to get back. And I even heard rumors of a Zombie U2.
Really?
Somebody put up on our website,
right.
which I'm excited about because I love Zombie U.
Yeah, it was a great game.
wait, here's the thing. It's like ironically, I've waited to say this for a long time, but I feel like when it comes to Nintendo, third-party developers are just not creative. Okay, they do what they feel like that people will like, but they can't say, okay, I see your product and let's make something very unique with that. Granted, Ubisoft did it with Zombie U. And a lot of people enjoyed it, but a lot of third-party developers out there, they're just familiar with making what they're familiar with. Okay,
Well,
like
yeah,
game,
Nintendo
like just
has
game.
to show them, right?
They
So
have to show
Nintendo
them.
has to be like, with the Zelda game, this is how you use the pad, the map, and play a game on it.
Right,
all at the same
and yet
time.
let's use this as an example. So, like for instance, Apple would hold like these developer, sessions where folks could come and learn from the engineers directly, like what's the best way of utilizing this product.
Sure.
Nintendo doesn't have that. They
No.
should,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's their fault,
But
and that's why it's so delayed. Everything.
But again, they're not as big as Apple. They don't have
now.
they don't have,
Back then, yeah.
and they're not, they're a Japanese company, they're not an American company where they're going to be like, hey, here are these classes you can take. I'm sure,
Japanese and not running classes.
Well, I'm just saying, like, so okay, for example,
I think the language
PlayStation.
barrier.
Well, I'm so,
Get the
PlayStation
fuck outta
3,
here.
right? The PlayStation 3 had a big, huge problem with people understanding how to build for their system.
Right.
So
The
at
architecture
at the
for it.
point, like they were just like, "Ah, man, we got to do this.
And
for
what did
them."
they do?
They had
for-
to do it for them. They had to start that
But
program.
I meant as far as the PlayStation 4. What did they do?
Oh, now they made it, yeah, so everybody could do it. They were like, "What do you want? You want it? Okay,
Right,
well,
right.
make it this
And
way."
in fact, we're going to give it to you well before we even finish designing
Are
the
these
console.
the specs you want? Are these the type of engine you want? All right, this is what you got.
Well, they also gave them like the product so they can
Sure.
be able to develop for it and
Yeah,
understand it.
but they made it a lot easier interface, right?
Well, that's
So,
true. That's fair. But it's not like Nintendo's interface is like difficult.
I don't know.
It's Wii too. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do that. I just try to play the games
Yeah,
when they come out. I
but
do horrible.
We agree to disagree. Oh.
Are we disagreeing?
No, not at all. But that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
oh no, I was just gonna kind of go back on track
Oh, yeah.
because it seems like we went on a little bit of a tangent
Freaking Nintendo.
on Nintendo,
Every
like
time.
always.
That
But
was a great subject.
so I mean, yeah, we had the
There should be a
PlayStation
case
experience.
Nintendo should be its own case study.
I think they had a class on Nintendo, but anyways, yeah, the
Japan,
Video Game
apparently.
Awards. Yeah, anything else you wanted to say on the?
No, as far as the award shows games, I hope Microsoft gets on it because they did a lot of things right this year. I don't want to say they shouldn't.
Wait,
Because
Microsoft? What?
Microsoft did a lot of good things this year.
Give me
believe it or
one.
Not. Like they did a beta for a lot of people that could get into it and test their new updates, and they got feedback on it. And they even gave games away for being part of that beta test.
Right.
And they were giving you discounts, and it just seems like they were really trying. And I think it'd be better for them to lose face and be second place because it just made them a better company.
And they even gave away. I mean, it wasn't anything big, but they gave away some free things also for early develop or early adopters to the
Right.
Xbox One. They
Right.
said, "Hey, thanks for getting the Xbox One. Here's Limbo. Here's
Well,
I
that
forget
was
what
for the
else.
beta.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was for
Limbo's
their because I don't think I didn't do the beta. Whenever I got the message, it said, "Thanks for being an early adopter."
Yeah, that's for the beta.
Huh.
Stuff.
Okay. Well, there you go. I don't know
Oh.
shit.
Maybe I could be wrong.
Get your facts right, Mike.
Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I specifically thought it was for the beta, but they should have given away a free game because of freaking Connect.
I agree.
I
And
agree.
you said that at, halfway through the year too.
They should have given you a year of Xbox for free, but that's just.
I have your Connect. You no longer support it. Thanks.
Thanks for lying to me in the beginning, but it did.
Companies
make them
don't do that. What are you talking
No,
about?
not at all.
So yeah, it
Speaking of
seems
gaming
like
industry.
it's going in the right direction. Hopefully, they do.
Not lie.
They've gotten a lot better. I'll give
Yeah.
them that. They have come around full 180 and are listening to their fans.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I was talking about the video game awards. It went in the right direction. I mean, for the first year, it did really well. Hopefully, it's bigger and better next
I
year.
think it's just Game Awards.
Yeah, the game awards.
But I really hope, like, I hope he gets money to do it again. I hope more people give him money so he has to put up his
Yeah,
own money.
what needs to happen is he needs to get sponsors outside of the gaming industry.
I feel like he got sponsors. I feel like Nintendo was probably one of them because they were there. It was a big heavy.
Well, you don't
presence.
want another GamerGate like controversy going on where they're like, well, they sponsored it because that was the whole purpose. Is like all these review sites are sponsored by ads
Right.
of the games. It's like,
And there were still ads on there. You still saw ads for games.
Well, that's common, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I think they can get sponsorship, like get sponsorship from like I don't know, Coke or Pepsi or fucking Captain Jack for all that.
Right. But when you do that,
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan.
Yeah,
when
sorry.
you start doing that, you start going down the spike road where you're going to have Monster, give you, and you're going to see Monster ad products.
You can see all these BMX bikes in the background.
You see, look, I don't think that's a problem. I think the people that they brought in that have nothing to do with games were the problem. Because the ones that are in the gaming industry can curate the ads. They can be like, hey, buy Monster. You can drink it while you're playing games.
Eat Taco Bell while you're
that,
right.
I just feel like if you go too extreme with that, you start going down the spike road, and they're just like, well, you're not,
Spike is bad, okay?
Jeff Keighley,
Spike doesn't.
what's
Spike.
his name?
Joe McHale.
Yeah, you're not Joe McHale, which has a better. People know who he is.
Spike is kind of searching in the woods right now. Okay, they don't really know what they are or what they want, but they want to do it.
Their Maxim for TV is basically what they are.
Maxim is actually good compared to whatever the fuck Spike TV
They're
is.
still around.
Maxim.
So
I outgrew that. But yeah, so pretty big year. Next segment we'll talk about our top games of the year, which we really had to dig, and talk a little bit about the games that we were playing. So stay tuned. See you next time.